Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hello everybody. My name is Blanka Molnar and I'm based in Texas in the US, but I'm originally from Budapest, Hungary. So my story, I had a midlife crisis when I was 26 years old. I had my life in Budapest. It was an average life. I was in corporate real estate. And I had my friends and family around me, but something inside me was just nudging me that this cannot be it. I was 26, and that's when I decided that I moved to California to become an au pair, a live-in nanny, and to take care of 2 kids. It was a life decision, one of my best decisions that changed my life forever. And I had a great time with the kids. It was a multicultural family. Mom is Hungarian, dad is Chinese American, so we had lots of fun together. And one day, we all had a meltdown. It was only 9 a.m. and we were all tired with the kids, me too. And in that pivotal moment, I realized that how much we are passing on to our kids, how much stuff we are passing on to our kids. I was very impatient. I wanted to be a very patient, loving, caring au pair. But in that moment, I was very impatient and it felt like these feelings are not mine. And that's when I realized that how I was parented and how much I inherited as a Hungarian was impacting how I was parenting and taking care of kids. That moment hit me like a baseball bat. And it was very painful to realize that. But it made me think how I can do differently, how I can do better. And that was the moment when I realized and I made a conscious decision that I would like to heal myself before I become a parent myself. And that moment was the first break to my company, my current company, Awareness, where I heal parents so they can parent differently their children. And they can do and build a better relationship with their children. So when I was an au pair, I had lots of up and downs, but I was in California, and California was a fantastic, supporting, spiritual, healing place. And first I just started to read books like The Secret or The Law of Attraction or Eckhart Tolle's book. I was asking questions about who am I. First I did personality profiling testing, wanted to understand myself deeper and more, but that was not enough. After my visa expired and I couldn't be an au pair anymore, I moved back to Europe and I didn't know what to do with myself. I felt very stuck and I was lost. I still haven't figured out what I wanted to do. So I grabbed my luggage again and I moved to London. And I call London as a place where I really grew up. I didn't have my parents and my friends around me. I went through a lot. I was working from paycheck to paycheck, but I was keep working on myself. I did different modalities. I went to like regular traditional therapy, but I also did family constellation. I did kinesiology, muscle testing, and I wanted to go deeper and deeper in who am I and understanding myself and understanding my lineage, my past, my heritage. My heritage as a Hungarian. Hungarian history is it's loaded. It's a heavy history. We had a very long time to pick up all these, but we were suppressed so many times. And all those traumas, not just my family trauma, I grew up with an alcoholic dad, but not just my family trauma, but all my Hungarian history traumas were still stored in my DNA as it's stored in everybody's DNA. So I was healing a lot. And that's where I met my husband, Josh, who came for a weekend just to meet me in a concert. And we met. We were long distance dating, and we got actually married before we lived together. It's very it's very strange nowadays, but yes. And that's when I moved to Texas to finally live with him. And another challenge what we had was like we tried to conceive and we had multiple miscarriages, which was physically and mentally very tolling on me. But that's when I turned back to family constellation again, because I knew that I wanted to heal. I didn't feel that IVF was in my games. It was just not for me. So I turned back again to family constellation and other healing modalities, holistic healing modalities that help me. And now I'm happy to share that we have a healthy, lovely, active 2.5 years old. And I'm still healing today. I'm still healing for myself. I'm still healing for herself. Family constellation also can help you with healing 7 generations back, but also can heal forward. And I'm helping parents today to realize that healing starts within them. Healing is not just about here, fix my children, fix my relationship with my mom or my dad. Healing starts within. And you can get the remote control of your life back if you make a conscious decision that you want to do it differently. And we say that we would die for our kids, but would we heal for our kids so they don't have to carry what we've been carrying? So I hope my story empowers you. See that you can do it differently. You can parent differently, but you have to go inwards and ask yourself the questions: who am I? Why I'm doing what I'm doing? So here is ACT, which starts with A, stands for awareness. Start to bring awareness to the questions, to who you are, who you really want to be, and why you are acting how you are acting. The C stands for connecting with yourself. I know, especially as a parent, you probably have limited time for yourself, but even 5 minutes just checking in with yourself, connecting with yourself before you're connecting with your kids can help. And T is for transformation. It stands for transformation. Even if 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, starting to bringing awareness, connecting with yourself can bring a huge transformation, a deep, profound transformation within. And then when you start to transform yourself within, everything around you starts to be transformed around. So you can build a better, healthier relationship with your partner, with your friends, with your parents, and with your kids.
Wow, what an incredible journey you've been on to get to this point, Blanka. Thank you so much for coming online and sharing your story with our community today.
Thank you for giving me the platform to do that.
Absolutely intriguing. So, can you share how you first discovered the family constellation healing?
Sure. I had my first family constellation session 15 years ago. It was a weekend and it was just a wow moment. It was very intense, but I like to go deep and I like to be effective in my healing. And family constellation gave that to me that I could. So when you are on traditional therapy, you feel like, or I felt like I'm just scratching the surface
Right.
because so many of our problems today is actually rooting like 5, 6, 6, 7 generations back. And how would you know what happened then? How would you know that a mom, for example, lost a baby and she couldn't grieve that time? Or how would you know that your great grandfather gambled all the family money? So that's why you have issues with family money today. So family constellation is deep and it brings back stuff that you wouldn't know otherwise. So that's why I love it's deeply transformational.
Yeah, we inherit things from our past that we are totally unaware are running our lives right now.
Correct, yes.
Wow. So now you're helping people really discover that.
Yes, I do.
So, for those unfamiliar, what exactly is multi generational trauma?
Sure. So there are researches that actually generational traumas can be inherited. So not just family events, what I talked about, like suicides or survival guilt or family losses or cancer or other illnesses, but
Mm,
also historical events. So, for example, the Holocaust are still in our DNA. Even
mm,
if you are not from a Jewish family, but you might be connected or your ancestors might be related to the Holocaust or other historical events. These are the First World War, the Second World War. Those are all inherited in our DNA, still
wow.
affecting us. Immigrations. Right now, we feel that the world is big, but it's small. We can immigrate one place to another. But immigrations are having big impact on our families. So all these are multi-generational traumas that we still can impact us.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite fascinating.
Yes.
So, why is it so important to go back 7 generations in healing work?
So it's not always seventh generation. What I do in a session, in a one-on-one session, is actually we are healing by the root. So why is it important to go back? Because we are healing by the root. Sometimes you feel that, oh, it's just my mom or my dad I had issues with. But your mom and dad probably inherited those traumas. For example,
Yes.
in my family, alcoholism is running. But if I went back further, I found the root cause that what started to trickle down in a different way.
Right.
And there was a suicide, for example, and I always heard the story why it happened. And it turns out that it wasn't the root cause, that wasn't the real reason. I had to go further back and see and find an abuse that actually caused that suicide.
Exactly.
So it's not always seven generation. It's not like that we have to dig up all the skeletons, but we
Right.
have to find certain event or trauma that triggered that
That event.
event.
And you also mentioned just before we started recording that when you heal the past, you're actually healing the future as well, right? So it impacts your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren.
That's exactly, and that's the beauty of it. It's I'm not just healing for myself, but I'm healing for my daughter. She will have her own life events that she has to deal with and challenges, but I don't want her to deal with all the poverty, the struggles that my family had to deal with. So I started to clear for that.
So, can you share a moment when you saw instant transformation in a client?
Yes. I had a beautiful story to tell. I had a client and she has severe endometriosis. And we healed her trauma by the root. It was a great grandmother. And the next day, or the next week, she texted me that it's not just like I feel less pain in my tummy right now, but my daughter also texted me that her period was also lighter this year, or this month. Sorry, not this year, but in this month. So that's when you can see instant and profound changes. And it's not just her, but her daughter felt less pain in the months, which was like so beautiful, because we give that trauma back to the root, to that great grandmother who belonged to.
Wow. That's incredible. And that's very believable because most women, if you're in the same house, I remember when my daughter, before she left home, our periods would sync.
Sync, yes, women are syncing. Yes, if you are in a camp or something, probably it happens. Yeah.
Exactly. So, how does conscious parenting connect to ancestral healing?
So, conscious parenting is you are usually parenting how you were parented, because we are learned and we saw patterns, and that's because there is no guide how you parent. You could just get a baby and you are standing there that, okay, what should I do now? And you try to do what your parents did with you. But sometimes those are coming from traumas. Sometimes those moments or impatience or moments or yelling comes because your parents didn't know how to do it and they were raised the way they were raised. So conscious parenting comes in the way, and trauma comes that, okay, why am I yelling? Is it actually about my child, or is it actually about me? Usually yelling or being impatient, it's more about us. It's not about our children. I'm not saying that there are no ways when we have neurodivergent kids, for example, or moments, or toddlering. Yes, toddlering is very hard, but when you can stop and breathe in that moment and pause and catch yourself, then okay, this is a hard moment for both of us, for the child in front of me and for myself, but where is it actually coming from? In that pivotal moment, what I shared in my message was like, I caught myself that actually this is not me. This is my mom's impatience, or dad's. It's really my dad's phrases that I wanted to say out loud, and then I was like, this is not who I wanted to be. This is not me. This is my parents. And that's when I realized that, wow, how I was raised, it's important.
Mm. Yeah, I remember when I first came across Eckhart Tolle's work, and he talks about the human pain body and being aware when you are playing up or when a child's playing up. I remember my youngest son used to throw some crazy tantrums. My first two kids were so calm and collected, but he was my trouble child. And when he would start acting out, I would just smile and say, "Oh, Mr. Pain Body's in town," and make him aware of the behavior because that wasn't
Yeah.
him. And the minute I said that, he would break out of the whatever ranting he was going through and laugh. And he became aware of how he was being. And it was so magical just to diffuse those
Yes.
moments with lightness and humor. And that's really when I first tapped into Eckhart Tolle's work and being aware of the human pain body and how it shows up. But the
Yes.
awareness that you are the observer of the behavior, that was a total game changer for me and my family anyway.
Yes, and I love that. Actually, I sometimes I give names to that, or to anger, that, oh, Mr. Ryan is here, or like when you like personalize your emotions can also help with kids. First of all, they would understand easier than, but I also do it for myself
Yeah.
because it's easier to handle it and process it. But for that to be aware, it shouldn't trigger you. But how
No.
it doesn't trigger you when you actually dealt with it, when you know that, okay, this is actually a triggering point for me. For example, when my kids are yelling and I was like, oh, I feel disrespected, but is this actually about the child, or you feel triggered because somebody's treating you disrespectful way. So that's when you awareness and conscious parenting comes into way, that it's about the trigger, but you have to heal the trigger, and that's when you can fully present for your kids and joke around that Mr. Pain Buddy is here.
Oh, I love it. Now, what role does the inner child play in your methodology?
So I love that question. Thank you for asking, because I believe that inner child and inner child healing is, it's overlooked and it's overused. Inner child, if you see the phrases, is everywhere. But inner child is not just about like hearing a song or buying like cute little things for yourself. Inner child work is actually doing something and healing your child who was like going back like and feeling what that 3, 4, 5 years old, 6 years old felt. So when you buy like a cute little dolls, it's not just about like being whimsical and buying romantic things that, oh, this is so cute, but going back and feeling that, oh, my family was too poor to buy that little doll for me. And actually now as an adult, and I have just chills talking about this now, that now buying this doll for me is actually that I can treat myself. This can be my self-care. I have the money. I can create the money to buy that doll. That's when the inner child healing piece comes in. So it's not just about the doll. It's about like, I feel the pain. I feel the pain that my parents couldn't buy that. Their heart was breaking because we didn't have the money. But now I can buy that beautiful doll because I have the money. I can create. That's when the inner child healing comes into my work.
So, what cultural or societal patterns do you see repeating in families today?
Oh, I think all across different cultures, because I see the U.S. is parenting differently than Hungarians are parenting differently. I just came back from Europe and seeing parenting there, it's different than from the U.S. But I see across as an umbrella is finding the balance. And people are mockering gentle or soft parenting, that, oh, is it just touchy-feelies? And we have to go back to the authoritative, just give a big slap kind of. And I think parents and adults are struggling to find balance in parenting. Where is
Mhm.
it like giving a good boundaries for kids, because kids can feel safe when they feel the boundaries and the principles, but also be their guides in front of instead of they're like, just like, I'm your parent, you do what I do because you are under my roof kind of thing.
Yeah.
So how can you be the guide for your child without being triggered, and just give them a safeguard, a guardrail where they can actually move around.
Oh, I love that. And it all goes back to that awareness piece you were talking about earlier, being aware of how you are being. So, how do you approach skepticism from clients or audiences who hear you speak about your methodologies and your processes?
Um, I share my stories. I share my last 14 years of healing as a parent, now a parent, but also as a caretaker. So first of all, and and I just tell to parents that just try one family constellation session. You have not much to lose.
Mhm.
And when you see that, like 99% of my clients were like, wow, this is fantastic, this is transformative, and we can shorten the amount of time of healing. So you might not have to spend like years and years in traditional therapy,
Yeah.
because we go back in one session to the root cause, and then you are like, oh, this was it? And it's like, yes. And
Mhm.
you have more understanding, more compassion towards your own family too, when you see that when those traumas are coming from.
Wow. The most common misconceptions about ancestral healing.
Sorry, you were breaking up. Can you please say again?
What are the most common misconceptions about ancestral healing?
I've seen it many times that people is like, the past is the past. Let's just leave it like that. But
Hmm.
the problem with that actually the past is affecting you more than you
Realize.
connect with your life. So I had a client and she was like, why we have to talk about this? Because it's actually impacting you more than you think. But it's like, no, this is what impacting me. It's like, and sometimes people have this concept that what is impacting them is X, and they don't know that it's actually ABC, something else.
Mhm. Wow. Oh my goodness. So, in all of this, how do you balance your spiritual work with the practicalities of running a business?
Oh, that's hard, especially having a toddler. So, especially that I would like to be a conscious parent for myself and spend time with my daughter, not be on my phone or my laptop when she's around me.
Wow.
So, balancing that, building it, it's
Juggle,
like,
right?
yeah, it's one building block at a time. And
Mhm.
in the evenings, my evenings are very effective to actually work.
So, can you share a personal healing journey from your own that has shaped your work?
Absolutely. It's a very recent one. I've been very sick for 1.5 years, and I just started to get better in March, April timeframe. And I had very severe allergic reactions. I saw 8 different specialists in Houston. I mean, I'm in a research medical city, and nobody could really help me and tell me why I was having these allergic reactions. I ended up in the ER like 8 times last year. And I decided, because they wanted to put me on an injection therapy, and I just didn't feel that that's my way. So I turned again back to the holistic methods, and I found some fantastic healing practitioners that helped me through my journey. And that's another healing where I felt that whatever resonates with you, whatever you feel, don't let somebody to push something onto you that it just doesn't sit right. I was very desperate to heal. I was in so much pain. I was like very ugly. Like my face was puffed up. It was red all the time. It cracked my skin. I could put only Vaseline on my face, nothing else would be tolerated. But I was desperate, but I didn't want that route because it didn't sit with me. So I went down to my way, the holistic way. So as I mentioned, I'm much better now since March, April timeframe, and I'm just building further and further my business parenting.
That's absolutely beautiful. Now, what do you hope people will carry away after working with you?
Empowerment and and feeling empowered that in the way they can get their remote control of life back, that healing actually starts with them, and and there is hope even when you fail, and just open-mindedness because they tried something different and it might actually work for them.
And can you repeat that acronym that you shared with us in the beginning, ACT,
Act.
and what it
So
means?
A stands for awareness, bringing awareness into your everyday life, into who you are. C is connecting with yourself and with others. And T is standing for transformation.
Lovely. Now, if you could heal one generational pattern globally, what would that be and why?
One, whew,
Mm.
probably I would heal the Holocaust because it's so much lingering around and affecting so many people's life. But it's hard to pick one, but Holocaust is very close to me, being raised in Hungary.
Mm.
And but every journey, every healing journey is different. So whoever I can help, I'm here.
I love it. I'm going to end our interview with my two last questions, which are a bit of a thought experiment. And I think you're one of those people who will really get this question.
Okay.
In the first one, I'm going to teleport you back to the younger you, the young woman who went out into the world, discovered she had a gift to heal, and healed herself and is now trying to heal other people. If you could go back and give her three nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point, what would those three nuggets of wisdom be? Especially for young moms who are out there parenting.
I just have chills thinking all on back. Thank you. This is a beautiful question. First of all, that trust the universe. The universe gets you, or God, or the source, or whatever resonates with you. Please replace the word, but that the universe gets you. And the other one would be that trust your inner voice. Hear your inner voice and don't try to shut it down. And the other one is don't be afraid to lose people around you. Because I lost so many people and it still hits me hard. But whoever needs to be with you will be with you when they need to be with you.
Really good advice. Last question is futuristic, and I'm going to teleport you into the future this time. And we are going to go and meet the 90-year-old you. And she's sitting in her rocking chair, surrounded by her children, her grandchildren, her great grandchildren. Maybe she's dancing somewhere. With science and technology, you'll probably be on your feet.
Love dancing, so up for it.
So if we could teleport into the future to go and meet this wise woman who has led you up until this point, what will you say to her when you finally meet her?
It's been a ride, darling, wasn't it? So I really would like to feel that I had a good ride. I love amusement parks and all the crazy rides, and I'm very comfortable with the uncomfortable. So that's how I would like to be on my deathbed or an old or dancing around that. It's been a wide ride and I enjoyed it with all the ups and downs.
I love it. I always say to people, my life has been a bit of a roller coaster ride. It's had so many ups and downs, and
Oh,
hold on to your seatbelt. And whenever I hit rock bottom, I get excited because I know the only way from the bottom is up, because
yes.
nothing in life is constant, right? Everything is always changing.
But without the ups and downs, without the downs, you cannot have the ups and the opposites. So,
Oops. There are two sides of the same coin.
yeah,
One can't exist without the other.
yes.
Absolutely love it. Wow, I could talk to you forever because this is a
Thank
subject
you.
that is very, very close to my heart. And that last question, the reason why I like to ask it, Blanka, is a lot of women don't realize that the wise woman is already in us, that
Yes,
she is that quiet voice that whispers, that tells you go left, go right, say yes, say no, do it, don't do it. But as women, we don't trust ourselves, we don't listen to our intuition. We look for answers outside of ourselves all the
yes,
time, instead of going within and connecting with that essence. So I like to share that I play with the essence of who I am becoming. I became aware at a very young age that this woman was in me. And I remember I would say things that blew me away. And I'll think, where did that come from? How do I know this? It sounded so profound. And I would start saying my grandmother used to say, but I remember never having those conversations with my grandmother before, right? But it felt too big and too profound for me to own the knowledge that was coming through me.
yes.
And so I started playing with the energy of who I was becoming.
I
And
love
I have
that. Yeah.
conversations with this woman. When I get stuck, sometimes I'm working on something and I'm trapped. I go into my meditation and prayers at the end of the day and I ask her questions like, as simple as, so what is the next step? What am I supposed to do next? And I sleep on that. And your subconscious mind is figuring out all of the stuff
Yes.
you're working out, right, while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And then I wake up the next morning, I'm in the shower, and I have those light bulb moments where it drops and I know exactly what to do as the next step. Or I talk to other people about what I'm working on. And one person tells me this thing, the next person says something, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle. By the end
Yeah.
of the week, it all comes together and it's beautiful and it's perfect. And I know what my next steps are going to be.
I
So
love that.
thank you so much for being an example of this knowledge and living and embodying it and now sharing it with other women as well and empowering them.
Thank you for
It's been
having me, Gertrude.
absolutely beautiful meeting you. And to all of those people who are listening to this podcast, the Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. I thank you for tuning in. We're a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share our stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you are a young mom who is struggling with parenting, your kids' behavior, here is a resource for you. We have Blanka's website at the bottom of the screen. Please reach out. Don't try and struggle and do it on your own. I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And bye for now. And Blanka, don't go away.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story. Beautiful.